so now that we've looked at the finite element code, I just want to give you a quick overview of just paging through the textbooks, chapter 12, where it just talks about pre-processing, post-processing. So I just want to maybe just scan through that quickly. So this is the prescribed textbook. This is the older version of the book. So it might look slightly different in the latest version. Okay, doesn't matter. It's still, I just want to just walk you through so that you have a chance to read through this. Okay, so please feel free to read through it. And just it's going to give you just sort of a sense of what we spoke about. Okay, so there's mesh generation involved. At the moment we are meshing by hand because we're building those input files and the node that we put down, the connectivity and all that we do by hand. That's not how you would typically do it. There's a mesher that will do that and then write those elements into a file that one can then use. Okay, so this is really just to make sure that we understand what's going on here. But there are ways, if for instance you have meshes that are that needs sort of to be glued together, to put like this, there are ways to do that. So multiple constraints are again vehicles that can help you getting those things down. Okay. I'm not going to worry about this. The node numbers, so typically the ordering of the node numbers is quite important. That determines the sparsity of the matrix in the end. So there are ways, cut from the Gee algorithm for instance, that will find an optimal numbering so that the matrix that we have in the end is as sparse as possible. Okay, so that's really what that boils down to. Here's just some examples of mesh generation where you would essentially take this, then refine this and this, refine this in its own. So break it into sort of broadly speaking 3 quads. Each quad gets meshed on its own, making just where there's continuity on the edge between these two domains and then continuity between these two domains if you were to mesh it as block meshes. Okay, so that's that kind of stuff. Mesh plotting, so just what we showed you how we would go about doing plotting. So this is now their own little code that comes with this program. And then post-processing is really just having sort of a deformed configuration. There might be mode shapes if you want to look at the static, like the eigenvectors, how those might look. We're still going to look at that, don't worry, for the system. Okay, anyway, so that's just that aspect, those aspects. What else is there? What I will quickly highlight. Yeah, so that triangle. So often what happens is people will fit together smooth strain and stress field out, because as you know the stress field can be discontinuous. Often what happens is finite element packages will do a least squares fit and give that back, which I don't like. Please, when you look at the finite element mesh, look at the non-smooth version. Those discontinuities tell you something. If they are large, it means you have to refine. So my tip to you here is this least square fit for the or for any element. If you can switch it off, don't plot smooth stress fields. It's not about having a pretty picture, it's about being informed, having good information out there. Definitely please avoid least squares fits or smooth versions of the stress and strain fields. It's definitely, you're throwing a lot of useful information away if you do that. Okay, you saw when we did the mesh refinement on that like 1,000 elements or 100 elements, how that those discontinuities decrease as we made the mesh finer. That's the answer is in there. So the proof is in the pudding. Use that information to make better decisions. Okay, so that's my tip to you. That from that point of view, and this is now essentially how the input files and stuff would look for the code that's applied to the textbook. So I just want to show you again. This looks now very different to what we have, but there are different in a couple of formats because there were different programs that were developed in different places. Code from Berkeley, there was code various universities in the US and in Europe, from which commercial packages sprung. Okay, so hopefully this gives you a good idea of what's going on, and this sort of just I wanted you just to page you through chapter 12 so that you can have an idea of what that all is, what that's all about. Okay.